Committee. And gentlemen, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Great to be with you, Chris.
Before we get to the differences between your two parties, I have to ask you about difficulties going on within each of your camps. Governor Kane, a new book in the 2008 campaign called Game Change, says of Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, let's put it up, he was wowed by Obama's oratorical gifts and believed that the country was ready to embrace a black presidential candidate, especially one such as Obama, a, quote, light-skinned African-American with no Negro dialect, unless he wanted to have one, as he said privately. Governor Kane, does that kind of language have any place in the leadership of the Democratic Party, and should Harry Reid step down?
Chris, I do not believe he should. And I think Senator Reid did a very big thing yesterday by saying, you know, I used language that, looking back on it, wasn't the right language. The president made very plain in his discussions that he considers Senator Reid a great battler for equality and social justice and considers the book closed. And so I don't think this is an issue that's going to affect his leadership at all. In fact, he's doing some very heavy lifting, wonderful lifting right now to get this health care bill over the goal line, and
well,
I think he will continue.
How is this any different from racial remarks that Trent Lott made about Strom Thurmond back in 2002 that forced him out as the Republican leader in the Senate?
Well, I think if you look at the remarks, as I have, it was all in the context of saying positive things about Senator Obama and why he might be a wonderful,
light-skinned,
positive things about his candidacy and why his candidacy would be strong. And so I think, you know, again, while he said the choice of words was unfortunate, he stepped right up to it, acknowledged it, and said, look, I said things that I shouldn't have, or I should have said differently. It definitely was in the context of recognizing in Senator Obama a great candidate and future president. And that's why they're working so well together, and I know they'll continue to do that.
Mr. Steele, should Reid step down, and how objectionable do you think his remarks were?
Well, I think he should. I mean, if the standard is the one set by the Trent Lott incident, where he was wishing happy birthday to Strom Thurmond and talked about him as a possible president at the time, you know, 1948 or whatever, compared to calling a candidate for president, you know, light-skinned Negro. The reality of it is this, that there is this standard where Democrats feel that they can say these things and they can apologize when it comes from the mouths of their own. But if it comes from anyone else, it's racism. It's either racist or it's not, and it's inappropriate, absolutely. So if the standard is the one that we saw with Trent Lott as speaker, as a leader at the time, then I think this absolutely falls in that category. It's more than just an apology here. It's a reflection of an attitude. Now remember, this is the same leader who just a few weeks ago was talking about health care in the context of slavery. Clearly, he is out of touch, not only with where America and his district are, but how African Americans generally feel about these issues.
America really going back the right direction in the last year.
If Mitch McConnell had said those very words, that this chairman and this president would be calling for his head, and they would be labeling every Republican in the country as a racist for saying exactly what this chairman has just said. So if I sat here and said what he just said, if Mitch McConnell used those words, no one would find it to be credible. And so if it's not credible for me saying it, it's certainly not credible for the Democrats to sit back and go, well, it was in the context of saying something nice.